All right, we're live. Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Thursday. Um, it is Val here in the Abundant Woman Entrepreneur, and I'm coming at you today with a little bit of strategy, a little bit of mindset. I put a poll up, but like only half an hour before I came on because I was like, what am I going to talk about today? And I got only 2 votes, and they were both for strategy and mindset. So I thought, why not combine the two? Give like a combo package. So I'm going to be talking about both, a little bit of both, because really strategies are useless without mindset, and mindset is useless without strategies. And that's why, for me, the 3 pillars that I help you with are mindset, manifesting, and strategies, because that's the combo deal that needs to happen in order to be successful. And look, this is a group for women entrepreneurs, right? So I'm assuming that if you're in this group, you are a woman entrepreneur or you want to be an entrepreneur. And let me know if you are or if you want to be. What stage of business are you at? Are you in the developmental stage where you have an idea or you have a vision or you have a desire, but you haven't yet executed and done the work to launch a business? Is that you? If yes, put a 1 in the comments. Or are you in the baby business stage where you know what you want to do, you have created a business, and you are in the stage of building consistency with clients and income, and you haven't got there yet, and perhaps you don't have your strategies nailed down or your mindset or your energy? If that's you, put a 2 in the comments. Or are you adolescent? I see 3 stages of business: baby, adolescent, and mature. Adolescent would be, you have consistent clients, you have consistent cash, 5K months, and you're wanting to go to the next level. That would be adolescent. Put a 2 in the comments. And then mature would be, you're doing 10K months, you're selling out programs, you're selling your high ticket offers. And if that's you, put a 4. Because it's really good to know and be aware of what stage you're at, because it will help you to determine what kind of help you need. What is the help you need to get yourself to the next level? So if you are still in the ideas stage, then if you determine that and you go, okay, yeah, I'm not making money yet, I have an idea and I've sort of dabbled, but it's a hobby right now, but I would like it to be a business, then you know that the help you need is most likely to invest in a program, invest in a coach who will take you into the baby stage, so that you're getting your social media handled, you're getting your niche figured out, you're getting your ideal client figured out, and you're doing all of those basics. If you're in the baby business where you've been at it for a while, but you're not making consistent income yet, then you know that, okay, to get to the adolescent stage, the help that I need is going to be, investing in a coach, investing in a program, learning and teaching how to, sell out my mid-range offers, get a sales funnel going, do some lead magnet work, get a marketing system happening. So knowing what stage you're at is going to be super helpful for you. It's all about awareness of what's going on in my business, what's working, what's not working, and what's going to take me to the next level. Because as entrepreneurs, the ones who are successful are always growing and moving. The women who are successful at entrepreneur businesses are always moving to the next level, always investing in the next level of training, always going for the next big thing. They're always up leveling. That's what an entrepreneur does. They're always moving and they're proactive. So being proactive means assessing where you are, determining what that is, what are the problems that need to be solved, what are the new skills that need to be learned, what are the mindset issues that are coming up, and then, proactively going for the next level and doing what needs to be done to get where you want to go. But first, I think what I wanted to talk about is a bit of mindset in regards to being an entrepreneur. And if you're not seeing the results that you want, 80% of entrepreneurs fail. So when you see these people out there saying, your success is guaranteed if you work with me and you're going to get 6 figures in 6 months and all this bullshit, because that's what it is. Because the reality is not everyone is going to succeed. Not everyone. In fact, the majority won't. The majority will not succeed because they haven't done the work required to continually grow, expand, and improve and keep going. And also, the majority don't succeed because they don't have their mindset right. And one of the main mindset things that keeps you from succeeding is deciding whether you actually want it or not. Are you hungry enough to do the work? Because I know for me, and I shared this in the mastermind yesterday, I know for me there was a while where I wasn't that hungry. Like I was a personal coach for 5 years before I transitioned into working with women to help them create a thriving, successful business and financial freedom. Before that, I was a personal coach. And I wanted a business, but I didn't really want to do the work. I wanted it to be easy. And so I hired a business coach. I invested $5,000 in a program to learn how to build an online business. And while I got great strategies and I got great support and I got excellent value from that, I wasn't executing, right? I wasn't applying and I wasn't working hard. So therefore, my results were minimal. And I think a lot of people will blame the coach for that. Now, there are some shitty coaches. There are a lot of shitty coaches out there. So I'm not saying that it's never the coach's fault. However, if you're not applying what you're learning and you're not actually doing the hard work, then maybe you're not hungry enough, or maybe you don't really want it. So for me, I had to really look at that and go, is this what I really want to do? And do I want it bad enough to work my ass off to get it? And eventually I realized that that wasn't my jam, that personal coaching wasn't lighting me up like I originally felt like it was. And I needed to go back and reassess and reevaluate, what I really wanted to do. And turns out it wasn't personal coaching. It was, taking my skills of being a life coach, being a personal coach, and taking those skills that I loved, the mindset work and the energy work, and transitioning it into being a business coach. And that's the perfect combination for me that I love, that lights me up, that I'm passionate about, that keeps me working hard every day. Because I love helping women find financial freedom doing what they love. So I had to really give myself a hard talk about, why am I not doing the work? And I'm spending all this money to learn all the strategies, but I'm not applying them. Why is that? And taking a look at my lack of results and really analyzing it without being emotional about it and going, okay, what's working, what's not working, what needs to change? So ask yourself if you really want it. Maybe one reason why you're not successful or you're not where you want to be is because there is something else you'd rather be doing. But maybe what you're doing is what you think you should be doing, or what you see other people doing. And so you're doing that, but it really isn't coming from the place of passion within you. And so the energy isn't aligned with your action, right? And as I said, I've been there. So it's like, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, let's be real with ourselves and do the work to determine whether we really want what we say we want. Because, if we're hungry and we really want it and we're passionate about it, then we're going to go all in. And this is another thing I wanted to talk about, is like going all in. What does that look like? What does that mean? And what will make the difference for you in your success? If you think about like circus, what do you call them? Trapeze artists. And they're flying and they're way up high in the air and it looks all scary and like thrilling, but they have the net underneath. So if they miss a catch or if they fall off their trapeze, they have the net to catch them. So the element of risk isn't that huge, because even if they fall, they're going to land in the safety net and they're going to be okay. Watching it is thrilling because they're so high and they're doing all these amazing things, but the reality is they're not risking their life. They have a safety net. And sometimes that safety net can keep you from going all in. And here's how I experienced it back, like I said, when I was struggling to build my business. I had a safety net of savings that I was living off, so I didn't really need to make money in my business. I didn't need it. And there's nothing wrong with that. It kept me unmotivated, and it kept me in a place of like, this is a nice hobby, but if it doesn't work out, I'm fine. And it's interesting because it sounds like it would be easier to build a business if you have a safety net, because you're not desperate or you're not, worrying about money. But the reality is it can also be a sabotaging thing, because you're not going all in because you don't need it that bad. You're not hungry enough. And when I decided my savings were no longer available for my lifestyle, and that I had to make money in my business to pay my bills, that's when I started getting hungry, you guys. That's when I started showing up fully and doing the fucking work, because I needed it. So, sometimes we need to burn some bridges for ourselves, whether that's, and I'm not saying that, don't quit your 9-to-5 if you're trying to build a side hustle. Like, I'm not saying any of that. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes we need to think about what's keeping us from going all in, and what do we need to change in our mindset maybe, or even in our lives, to give us that sense of like, there is no safety net. There is no plan B. Like, I'm all in, my chips are all on the table. Because imagine watching the trapeze artists and there was no safety net. How would it change the experience? Well, all of a sudden there's a higher risk at stake. And think about how much more committed that person on the trapeze would be to make the catch, right? They're going to be much more committed to making damn sure that they catch that other person or they don't fall off. And they're going to do whatever it takes to make it. Because there is no safety net. If they fall, they're dead. So I like that analogy, because sometimes we have to give ourselves that motivation of going, this is it. This is going to happen. Success is not an option. I'm all in, and this is going to happen. All of a sudden, our decisions become much more strategic. Our decisions become much more thoughtful, and we're more willing to do what is necessary to get there. And I think a lot of women are saying they want to build a business, saying they want this, but in reality, when it comes down to like being all in and doing whatever it takes, they're not doing it. And that if that's you, there's no judgment or shame around that. It's just decide what you really want, and don't waste your time, doing something that you're not going to go all in on, because going all in makes all the difference. And so like for me with personal coaching, I had to have that conversation with myself and decide, you know what? I don't want to go all in on this. And I experienced that as well. I had an interior design business for a while, and it got to a point where like getting jobs was easy. And then the recession hit, and all of a sudden it was like, oh, if I want this to work, I'm going to have to like spend serious money on marketing and, you know, all sorts of things to build my brand. And it was a very competitive market. And so I had to make that decision of like, is this something I'm passionate enough about to go all in on? And I realized that I wasn't. I enjoyed it when the jobs dropped in my lap because it was fun, but I didn't enjoy it enough to go all in and make it like a business where I was like showing up fully. So I quit and let it go. And now it's just a fun hobby, which I love. So, you know, finding out if you're all in and if you're really committed is super important. And if you're not, then go, well, what is it that you really want to do? What is it that lights you up? And what is that thing that you want to go all in on? So those are just some thoughts I had about, you know, being your own CEO and asking yourself some tough questions and evaluating like what stage of business are you at? What's required to get you to the next level? And are you all in to the point that you're willing to do whatever it takes to get there? So I wanted to talk to you about that. What else? I have some notes here. Oh yeah. Okay. So I wanted to share also, okay. So when I was starting out, I worked with 3 different business coaches. And I have a business coach now. I'll always have a business coach, because I'm always investing in my business in that way, because it keeps, just like any business coach, right? We keep our clients focused, accountable, we give them strategies. We're always testing and tweaking and making sure that they are doing the money-making activities. And so for whatever that next level is, find a coach that is there and is going to help take you there. So I have a coach right now who is at my next level where I'm wanting to go, and she's taking me there. But beyond that, I worked with 3 business coaches in my first 3 years of business, and I invested probably 5,000 in one, probably about 8,000, maybe 10 in those business coaches. And I learned something different from each one, and I got a lot out of them. And I'm really super grateful for each of them, because they've gotten me to where I am right now. But the reality is, and I said this before, like, it's not a quick fix. It's not like, hey, hire a coach and you're going to be making 6 figures in 6 weeks. It might happen, but there is no guarantee. And the reality of being an entrepreneur is it's a long game. This is a long game. This is not a sprint. This is a marathon. And in order to have the stamina to go the distance, we need to put in place the support that will keep us going. The support that will help us when we're struggling, that will help us to stay motivated when we're feeling like giving up, and that will give us those, strategies to help us to be more effective. But it's a long game, you guys. And building a business takes time, and it takes intention, and it takes a lot of hard work. And the work is up to me, right? Like I worked with 3 coaches, but I had to do the work. And for a while, like I said, I wasn't wanting to do the work. I wanted it to be easy. So like, hire a coach and they're going to tell me what to do. And then, it's just going to all magically happen. And it's up to the coach to get me where I want to go. And I realized very quickly that that was a bullshit lie, because it's up to me and only I can do that work. And if I'm not willing to do it, then it's not going to happen. So it sounds kind of simple when I say it, but honestly, it took me a long time to figure that out. And I was relying on my coach to get me somewhere, when in reality, as I always say to my clients, it's like, I can only take you as far as you want to go and as far as you're willing to go. And so often as coaches, I think we find that the things that we help our clients with are often the things we struggle with ourselves too, because we're all human beings, right? And so I had to really realize that I was like relying on my business coach to get me somewhere. And when I didn't get there, it's easy to feel like a victim and blame your coach. But that doesn't help anybody, right? That certainly didn't help me with my bottom line. So, it's really all about just being willing to do the work and being willing to go all in and being willing to say, what is the safety net that's keeping me from showing up fully? Because I want you to succeed. I want you to find your way to create financial freedom doing what you love. And when we don't have a connection to that why, of why we're doing it, that is a service-based why and a love-based why, then we don't really want to go all in. And I talked about this yesterday in the group program. The why can't be, I want a business so I can make a lot of money, so I can have a nice lifestyle. Hey, money's great. I love money. Money gives me a great lifestyle. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But when it's the only motivation to have a business is to pay bills or, to get out of debt or like a self-interest motive, that isn't going to work because we are selling ourselves. Like, you are the product. And when you are showing up with like, I'm doing this so I can make money to feed my family or put my kids through college or, have a nice lifestyle, it's a what can I get energy. And the what can I get energy is repelling. Nobody likes it, and it's really obvious when someone is coming from a what can I get energy. So the difference is to shift into a how can I serve energy and to find a why for your business that is connected to service and love-based. Like, what is the impact you want to have on the world or on your clients? What is the impact you want to have by showing up and serving? How do you want to make a difference in the world? How do you want to make a difference in one person? What is your reason for doing it that is outside of yourself? And I know for me, when I start to feel discouraged or feeling like I'm unmotivated or I don't want to show up to work that day, I go back to my why. And it's like, yes, okay, why am I doing this? Because I am passionate about seeing women step into their genius and step up as leaders so they can make a bigger impact in their world. I am passionate about that. And when I work with my clients and see that happening and see them stepping into their zone of genius and see them participating in the transformation of others' lives and see them feeling lit up because they are making a difference, that's my why. That's why I'm here in this group every day. That's why I'm here right now, because I'm passionate about you getting the life you want, creating the life you want, doing what you love. I spent most of my life doing what I didn't love because I thought that's what I should do. And that's what society told me I should be, is somebody who puts my needs on the back burner for everybody else. And therefore I was depressed and miserable and bored. So I spent most of my life that way. And to be here now doing what I love and being able to serve and see the difference is everything for me. That's what lights me up, and that's what keeps me showing up every day. That's what keeps me showing up every day here, talking to you guys. So I want that for you. And so connect to your vision and tell me what that is in the comments. Like, what is the vision that lights you up, that is going to keep you working hard when it's hard, that is going to keep you showing up when you don't feel like showing up, which is going to keep you investing even when it's scary in training and programs and whatever it is you need to get yourself to the next level and move it from a hobby or a someday or a baby business to a business that's thriving and consistent. What is it? What is your why? What is your vision? What is your purpose outside of yourself? And that's how we step into being entrepreneurs who succeed. That's how you will step into being one of the 20% who succeed, is connecting to that why and then learning how to let others know about it so that they're connected to it too. So I think that's all I wanted to say. I felt like maybe this was something that you need to hear. And if some of what I've said is triggering for you, know that that is showing you an area where you have work to do. Like whenever we get triggered, right, it's a clue for us that there is something that needs to be worked on within. But know that, it's a good thing to get triggered. If you're triggered, it's a good thing because it's showing you an area in yourself that wants to be healed, that wants to be released. Maybe you feel triggered into shame around your lack of success or guilt or, blame or whatever. And honestly, I know I've been there. But allow that to inform you into your place of healing, right? Whenever I get triggered into shame, I know that that is more work that I need to do to release that shame message of I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy enough. I don't deserve. And so when I get triggered into shame, I'm aware of it now so that I can observe it and go, hey, that's interesting. I'm being triggered right now and feeling shame. What's that about? And getting curious about it. And then shifting it and then doing the inner work to heal and to release. So, getting triggered is good because it helps us to heal. And, I am not sugarcoating anything because I don't think it serves you. And I've never thought that sugarcoating is serving. We as women are told that we should always be nice and sweet and don't offend and don't hurt anybody and don't piss people off and don't make people uncomfortable. And so we censor and edit ourselves all over the place. And I did that for most of my life because I was scared to offend anybody. But as women who want to become leaders and step into more and be successful entrepreneurs, it's time for us to let go of that old story and that limitation of the box of being the good girl and the nice girl. And that doesn't mean we turn into mean girls. It means we own our truth and we learn how to speak our truth in love. But it's okay to be bold in that. And it's okay to have an opinion. And it's okay to stand out. Your uniqueness is your superpower. When you stand out boldly and you are willing to say what you think and risk offending somebody, that's when you have stepped into your superpower. Because now you're standing out. Now you're willing to be seen and noticed and heard, and you're willing to offend somebody or piss somebody off or, trigger somebody. And so it's really valuable for us to do that inner work too, to see where have I kept myself small to stay being the nice girl and the good girl and out of fear of judgment. And when we get past that, then we can step into, this is who I am, and this is what I think, and this is what I believe, and this is what I'm going to talk about. And if someone doesn't like it, there's the unfollow button. Feel free, right? It's not about trying to please everybody because you never, ever, ever will. You'll never please anybody. So stop trying to please people and please yourself. Do what pleases you. Do what's exciting for you. Do what lights you up. Talk about what you want to talk about. This is what I wanted to talk about today. It might not be interesting to you, and that's totally okay. It might not be relevant for you, and that's totally okay. But for those people who are interested, then they're going to listen. And we need to let go of this feeling like we have to be all things to all people. So that was a bit of a rant. But that's really what's been on my mind lately. Challenging you to step into a bigger space, challenging you to show up bigger, challenging you to be more visible, challenging you to have an opinion and say it and speak it and let people know what it is. And this group is here for you to be a safe place to practice that. Like if that freaks you out, that's okay, because it's normal to feel freaked out about that if you've never done it. But this group is a safe place for you to do that. This group is a safe place for you to practice. So if you want to put a post up in this group that is, a bolder post than you've ever made before, or an offer post that you've never done before, or whatever it is that you want to practice stepping into being bigger, put it in the group here and ask people to give their feedback. Let yourself value feedback, because feedback is data for you as your CEO. Feedback is data for you to take and then go and tweak your message and try again. And without that feedback, you'll never know if you're hitting the mark or not. And so feedback is integral to being an entrepreneur. And so we take the feedback and we welcome the feedback, and then we go back and we try again. And then we try again, we try again. Test and tweak, test and tweak, test and tweak. So this group is here for you to test and tweak. So if you want to throw up a post and be like, hey, I'm trying this out. This feels a little more bold than I normally would be, or this is a new offer I'm creating. Can you help me see if this post works, if I'm doing it right, blah, 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 whatever it is. Post it in the group here and we will give you feedback, and know that it's always love-based feedback. This isn't a group where, we're not allowed, this group does not allow bitchiness. So you can feel safe here that nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to criticize you. Nobody's going to hate on you. We all are loving and supporting each other. And sometimes love and support looks like honesty and honest feedback, because it doesn't help anybody to just be like, oh, it's so great. Good job. That doesn't help, right? And learning how to give feedback is really important, and learning how to receive feedback is really important. So this group is here for you to do that. And I encourage you to do that. If you are wanting to build a business and you want to throw out ideas of hey, I'm thinking about this or this or this. What do you guys think? Throw that in the group. Or if you're just starting in your business and you're like, hey, I'm working on creating better posts and captions. Can you let me know what you guys think? Ask that. Or, hey, I'm working on my niche. Here's my niche as far as I think. What do you guys think? Or I'm working on my ideal client avatar. This is what I'm thinking my ideal client is. Ask questions in the group, because this is a valuable group of women who are all here for the same purpose, to support each other in being successful. So use it, use this group, become an engaged member, show up bigger, become a real person, do a live video and practice your lives in here. This isn't just a group where I show up and talk about what I want to talk about. This group is for you to show up and talk about what you want to talk about, because you have something interesting to say that we need to hear. So I challenge you to put one thing in the group this week, either a post or a video or something that you would like feedback on, or that you would like to share. And let's support each other. Women supporting women is the best way to be more successful yourself. When we support others, we become more successful ourselves. And when we're triggered by someone who's successful, that generally means that we are judging, and therefore we're judging ourselves, right? Judging others is judging ourselves. So if I'm judging someone else who's successful and it's hard for me to celebrate them, I have to look within and go, where am I judging myself for not having that? But when somebody else is successful and we celebrate that, we create an energy of gratitude that will bring more of that into our own life. So the more we celebrate others, the more we actually get for ourselves. So that is something that this group is for too, is to like share our celebrations and support each other in inspiring each other and pushing forwards and rising up. So, you know, that's just besides the point, but that's what I really encourage you and invite you and challenge you to do, is to start using this group in that way. Because you can show up and watch my videos or interact with my posts, and I'm appreciative of that, and I love that, and I do that, and I'm here because of that, because of you. But I also want to see you take some ownership and leadership here and bring some value of your own and have an opinion and talk about whatever is important to you, and start practicing finding your voice. Because until you find your voice in your business, you're going to be kind of lost in the crowd. And the only way to find your voice is to practice using your voice. So that's it for today. I am going to love you and leave you. And remember, show up for yourself, show up fully, make sure that you are doing what you love, and it will keep you going when things get tough. And I hope you guys have a lovely day, and I love you guys, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.